To Harbor, we're going to go to the belly of the beast right now. Democratic pollster Stan Greenberg and his partner James the Raging Cajun Carville put out a report today about a Republican focus group they held in the wake of Joe Wilson screaming, "You lie," at President Obama during that joint session. Here's part of their conclusion, which may surprise you. Quote, and you can argue with this, we're going to do it. Quote, "We gave those groups of older white Republican base voters in Georgia a full opportunity to bring race into their discussion, but it did not ever become a central element, and indeed was almost beside the point." So if race is beside the point, then what is the point? Is the point. David Corns, the Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones, and Ron Brownstein is the political director for Atlantic Media. Gentlemen, before we go further than that bottom line, that race is not a factor in this right-wing thinking, let me show you something from a poll, a research poll done by the Daily Coast this summer. It talks about those who believe in this birther thing out there. It was back in July, and they sponsored this poll. The highest regional percentage of people who believe that Obama wasn't born in the country was down in the South. Only 23% say he was born in America. Only 47% say he was born in the United States. The rest either don't know or thought he was born somewhere else. Up north, the more liberal Northeast, which is attacked by the right, 93% say he was born in the United States. So the birther question has radically different answers depending where you ask it in the country. Ron Brownstein, you do a lot of number crunching. What do you make of that? Is that, in fact, a counterpoint to the argument that there's not a race element to the right?
Well, there's obviously a racial element to our politics. About 90% of John McCain's vote came from whites. Part of the reasons why the South would be more inclined to believe the birther argument is it's the most Republican region of the country today. We've lived through a realignment of Southern whites from being the most Democratic to the most Republican portion of the electorate. Where I agree, and so I think it is wrong to say that there is no element of racial resistance to Obama. Certainly, you look at the vote in places like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and you would say that. But I agree with Stan Greenberg, who really is as sharp as they come, that the principal engine of the reaction we are seeing to Obama is not race. It's part of it. There's kind of a sense of cultural alienation from the new America that he represents, the multicultural America that he represents. But the principal force that we're seeing here is an ideological recoil from the conservative Republican base on the broad sweep of his agenda.
So Lyndon Johnson was wrong, you're saying, Ron, back when he said when he signed the Civil Rights Bill, he wrote off the South for decades to come. He was wrong, you're saying.
No, that was the initial impetus, but we've moved way past that, Chris. I mean, certainly in the 60s and 70s, the initial wave of realignment of white Southerners from the Democratic to the Republican Party was overwhelmingly driven by race. But now it is the attachment to the Republican Party goes way beyond that. You're talking about cultural values, evangelical Christians, overwhelmingly Republican, especially in the South, views on national security, views on the role of government. Race is no longer, I believe, the principal reason why conservative Southerners identify with the Republican Party. If you had to pick one reason, I would say it is religious values and cultural values rooted in evangelical Christianity far more than race.
I'm going to keep arguing this because I'm not sure. David Corn, I want to ask you this question. Why is it that all the liberals we know, every liberal we know was thrilled that this country was capable of electing an African-American president, and you did not hear that thrill exciting the body or the soul of conservatives? They were not thrilled by the idea this country was capable of getting beyond its race past. It's racial past, not racist, but racial past. Why is it that liberals like that idea and conservatives didn't like, or were not thrilled by it?